Welcome to Comics with Dan. I'm going to be reviewing Gatchaman #1. So I had never heard of Gatchaman until the Free Comic Book Day issue came out, and even after that, I didn't check that out. So once I got the review copy for issue #1, it felt like something was telling me that I needed to check this book out, and I'm pretty glad that I did. It was a fun read, and I enjoyed reading it. So the story was simple enough. The Science Ninja team was training with their Beta team, and I think a few other teams actually, to basically be these, teams ready for disaster to fight Galactor. It was mostly set up for those of us who aren't familiar with the original anime series. So I enjoyed that piece of it. I felt like I got introduced, and the story was still interesting enough to kind of keep me interested and wanting to read more. I think the concept of there being like a backup team that's kind of just waiting there ready for the first team to fail is an interesting dynamic. And I think that exploring that relationship and how they interact with each other is going to be a pretty interesting theme in the series. I don't think that we covered the personality of these characters a lot, and I do think that they introduced a lot of characters at once, which was a little difficult to deal with. But I think that since it's an ongoing, that we'll get background on some of these characters, or at least the important ones, as we go along. Since this is an anime franchise, I knew that there would be the anime manga style art, which generally isn't my favorite style of art. And I don't really go seeking books out that have that style, but I won't hold it against it too much because it's staying true to the source material as far as I can tell. I do have to say that the one thing I found strange was that one of the problems I generally have with anime and manga is that the sort of over-the-top exaggerated facial expressions and emotions that the characters often show. Which just isn't something I really enjoy. I think this book actually had the opposite problem, where a lot of the characters seemed a little stone-faced, almost like they were all wearing masks. And I thought it was interesting that a critique that I normally have of a certain style, it turned out to be the opposite problem that the art had. The characters having facial expressions like this kind of made it a little difficult to read their faces and kind of figure out intent behind certain words. So the colors were gorgeous, though. There was an extremely vibrant color palette. Each page was, exciting to turn to. It was really beautiful, and the consistent use of the brighter colors, I think, is an interesting style choice. I think there are certain books where it makes sense to switch back and forth between the brighter and lighter color palette to a darker one when there's a more serious tone in the book. But I think that the atmosphere they're trying to portray in this is sort of a more lighthearted Saturday morning cartoon type look that is better accomplished when you just keep the bright colors throughout. So I think that the colorists did a really good job of capturing that, and that was definitely appreciated. So the letters were pretty well done. I really enjoyed the little icons of the characters, their sort of headshots in each of the narration boxes, and it really helped me kind of understand who was speaking, and that's the entire point of the letterer, is to make sure that you know who's talking and when. And obviously in what order. So having those instead of using the colors, which I had just been introduced to, I think that really helped me determine, okay, who's talking in this narration box, who's talking in this one, and so on. So I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed reading it. It was a good time. I'm interested to see what happens next. Make sure you like the video. Make sure that you subscribe. Check out these other videos here, and thanks for watching.